Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where we will see an example on how you should exactly deal with a cheater. Let's begin. 9 months later, I found new love. You might not see it right now, but things will be better again. Persevere. Posted by a throwaway Reddit account.
TLDR, she left me and is marrying another man. We are both in our early 32s. She's a year younger than I am. I thought we had a perfect relationship. We've been together for 6 years now. No history of cheating that I know of. She left on Monday evening and said she was going for her usual run. She never came back. A day later she calls me. She's getting married to her ex-boyfriend after he reached out to her. She said she never loved me. She's not coming back. I haven't heard from her since. All her stuff is still in our apartment. This is my personal nightmare right now and I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here, thinking, who is this person? What the fuck just happened? Everything just feels numb. How do I move on from this? Now for OP's update. TLDR, her mother called me because my ex-girlfriend had some kind of mental breakdown and was hospitalized for attempting to send herself to the shadow realm. I told them to never contact me again and hung up. First of all, thank you to every one of you who sent me some warm words during my first post. You're total strangers over the internet, but you helped me tremendously. This was the darkest hour of my entire life, and your words helped me endure through that phase. I feel much better now. I still think about her every day, but I've realized it's over for good. I went through a ton of emotions and wrote her several letters that I never sent, and ultimately thrown away. Anyway, here's my update. With the help of a friend, we moved all her shit out of the apartment and moved it to a storage unit. I called her dad and told him to get it from there. Yes, I paid for it. People told me I shouldn't bother, but I am like that. It's all gone from my home now. I didn't keep a thing. Clean cut. I was a zombie at work for some time, but thankfully my colleagues were understanding, and as I avoided to call in sick, no one was really bothered too much, I hope. Hiking and running helped me with my mental health during these hard times. I even hiked barefoot one day and my foot was full of hurting blisters, but it felt good feeling alive again. Life went on and I survived. Yesterday I got a phone call from her mother. She didn't even ask me how I am, went straight to the point of drama. My ex has attempted to send herself to the shadow realm because she suffered a mental breakdown, and her mother wants me to visit her in the hospital. I had wild emotions in that moment, but managed to say, "Do not contact me again." Then I hung up. She didn't call again. I didn't really sleep tonight as I'm going through a lot of emotions and it's hard to mentally process what happened. I wanted to ask so many questions about her, about how she is and about what happened. I didn't though, and I'm proud of myself. I feel kinda great. I will not look back. Short update, it all happened about 9 months ago. Read my first 2 posts if you like. I was just like you, at the darkest hour in my entire life. Things were bad. This community really helped me, by the way. I have found new love a month ago. I wouldn't ever believe it, but things get better. Much better. My new girlfriend is wonderful and I'm in love. You, whoever reads this, just persevere. You will survive this. I promise.
Ah yes, a perfect example on how exactly to move on. She left you for an old boyfriend claiming she never loved you and was going to marry him like a fucking idiot. A few months later, you get a call from her mother informing you that your ex-girlfriend attempted to send herself to the shadow realm, and now her mother would like for you to visit your ex-girlfriend, but you told them to fuck off. OP, today, you have reinvented yourself and have truly moved on. Yours is a story of victory. No stupid pick-me dance, no trying to fix the damn relationship. You just left and let her live her own pathetic life. Well done, OP. And now for today's second story. File a false restraining order and threaten to end me? Okay, let's dance. Posted by Reddit user BTK216.
Obligatory mobile formatting error and first-time poster apologies. Also apologies for any spelling or grammatical errors. Too lazy, didn't read at bottom. Cast, I don't shorten words, so it's self-explanatory to the reader. A few years ago, my now ex-wife filed a false restraining order against me. She was living with her boyfriend in another state at the time, and had decided that a false restraining order was an excellent way to be awarded full possession of the vehicle I had purchased. We only had one key to the vehicle, and she was in possession of both the key and the vehicle. This is important later. I was exceedingly upset that she had knowingly filed a false restraining order, and upon being served, I immediately submitted my appeal and request for a hearing. I contacted my company and had them print off all my Department of Transportation GPS logs, as well as company internal vehicle tracker data. I also printed out my personal GPS tracking data from the navigation system I was using. So not only did I have federally accredited logs showing exactly where I was, or more importantly, was not, I also had 2 very detailed systems information showing my exact speed, cardinal direction, and other pertinent information, recorded in 2-minute and 30-second intervals. After I had compiled my entire body of evidence, I wrote a 3-page testimony to read to the court and judge to assist in explaining the entirety of the data, as well as present my side of the appeal. Almost 30 days passes, and I realize that upon adjournment of the case and subsequent exiting of the courthouse, there is a chance I will be able to reach my vehicle before my ex does. With this in mind, I decided to contact the dealership from which I had purchased the vehicle and acquired a second key. As we had only received 1 key when we purchased the vehicle, I knew she would not expect me to even be capable of driving away in it. So fast forward a few days to the court date. I had driven across 2 states to attend this court judgment appeal, with all my paperwork, written testimony, and key to the vehicle. I arrive approximately 4 hours prior to the hearing time, and patiently wait for the magic moment to come. Bad news, it was extremely anticlimactic as she was a no-show. The judge summarily ruled in my favor and the restraining order was dismissed. The judge then asked if I had anything further for the court, and if not, I was free to go. So I very politely asked, "Me, Your Honor, it is my understanding that the restraining order is lifted." Judge, "Yes it is." Me, "So am I, at this time, able to retrieve my vehicle?" Judge, "As the judge of this courtroom, I am unable to provide you with any form of legal advice." Me, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." Judge, "However, if you find a seat in the back of my courtroom, my secretary will provide you with a signed order of dismissal for the restraining order. If you were to be questioned by law enforcement for any reason regarding property or contact, it is best to have this documentation on your person, as the cancellation of the order may not reach the police system until close of business today." The way in which the judge had worded her response was very clear in intent. She could not specifically tell me I was good to retrieve my vehicle, but she was taking the extra time to provide me with the paperwork that gave me a legal opportunity to retrieve my vehicle. So I sat down, and after nearly 10 minutes, the court official that was designated with the task of typing and printing the paperwork got the judge's signature on it and brought it to me. As I put it in my binder of other paperwork and turned to leave the courtroom, the judge called out to me, "Judge, OP." Me, "Yes, Your Honor." Judge, "Good luck." Now I had to formulate a plan. See, as the ex-wife had not been present for the court proceedings, neither was my vehicle. I had the address for her boyfriend's and boyfriend's parents' house, as it was all over the initial restraining order's list of protected properties, and she had accidentally left a notebook with it written upon it when she first left to be with the guy. I decided to utilize Uber to go to the address and check if the vehicle was present at the address. Upon starting the Uber trip, I requested the Uber driver to wait for me at the address after dropping me off, giving her a quick summary of my circumstances and plan to ensure that I had a witness present for the intended retrieval of my vehicle. Quite simply, to ensure that no false allegations of fictitious activities during the recovery of said vehicle would have a metaphorical leg to stand upon in court. The lady Uber driver was sympathetic to my cause and agreed, even going so far as to give me her personal contact information in the event I required her for a future court appearance. Upon arrival at the address I had available, the vehicle was indeed present. The Uber lady waited until I had acquired the vehicle, left the premises, and she followed me about 2 miles to witness I had left the property completely, and then she went on her way. Bless that lady, she was a saint. So I make it about a half hour away and my phone rings. I answered it, and it was my ex-wife's boyfriend, and as you can imagine, he was not happy. He rambled off several vulgarities and other random insulting comments which I entirely brushed off. Then he made a very large and unintelligent mistake. He said, "If I ever see you again, here or anywhere, I will blow your head off."
You triggered my trap card!
Now, I'm a veteran. I don't take very kindly on threats to my life. I was upset at him, I was upset at her, and I was just handed a gift-wrapped means of complete and utter destructive revenge. I immediately hung up on him and dialed 911 to report a verbal threat on my life. I headed to the parking lot of a local big box store to meet the responding officer, and ensured I didn't leave until I had a case number, attached written statement, and the reporting officer's identification information. I completed my trip to my home state, and the following Monday I went to my local courthouse and filed for an emergency restraining order. The judge that was available to hear my case for an emergency order was, interestingly enough, the same judge handling the divorce. She listened to the case I provided, reviewed the police report information I provided, and issued the requested emergency order. Doesn't sound like a ProRevenge, does it? Well, my ex-wife was living with the guy in his parents' basement. The restraining order issued by the judge protected myself, my property, and my spouse from him. See, we were still legally married, so I was legally able to list her as protected party. When the restraining order was served, he couldn't be within 600 feet of my now ex-wife. As she lived with him in his parents' basement, he wasn't the one that had to leave, she was. But she no longer had my vehicle. She lost her brand new job. She wasn't able to get to school, so she failed her college course, but was stuck with the student loans for it anyway. She was now homeless, no vehicle, jobless, kicked out of college for non-attendance, penniless, as she is atrociously bad with finances, and to top it all off, she was nearly 4 months pregnant with his kid. Moral of the story: don't piss off a military veteran. I don't like to play play games. I will go out of my way to avoid playing games. I will bend over backwards to make sure I don't have to play games. But if you force my hand into playing aforementioned games, I will not be the one that loses the game. Which is something I told her verbatim on our 3rd or 4th date. Guess she forgot. Lol. Too lazy, didn't read. Ex-wife tried to play stupid games misusing the legal system. She wound up homeless, jobless, vehicle-less, kicked out of school, and was pregnant with her boyfriend's child to boot. Edit: for those individuals concerned about the ex's pregnancy and child, I was not aware she was pregnant at the time. To my knowledge, she was able to make it back to her home state, and us living with her mother, raising the child to the best of her abilities. I've heard she has a total of 3 kids, by 3 men. So her whole, I'm a lesbian and yes, I married a woman blah 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 was just for show. For social justice points. I don't know. Not worth my time to even think about.
Man, I am so sorry you had a bitch of an ex and an asshole who thinks he can fuck with a veteran. But I love hearing these revenge stories that could have been easily avoided if they were not terrible human beings. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.